Oh, hey folks, it's Paul here with you. We're going to talk about something, or more precisely, I'm going to be talking about something, and you are going to be mulling it over. And we've got 17 smart people here at this channel. They have me, that's all you have to say. But I will take this a little further now and explain to you why you came to this channel. Now, I had over 200 people at one point, but things got out of hand. So they took my channel so many times that I thought I was done with this, okay? A lot of people wonder why I call myself and literally refer to myself as a god. And you're going to find this out now, except you're so dim-witted that it's because of the continued sodomy that you've requested and demanded and insisted on. Once you become used to sodomy, you demand it. You can't live without it. No matter how you could see it. In normal times, you could see it and you could say, my God, that guy's being sodomized or whatever. It doesn't matter because the conditions slowly changed. With the COVID-19 scam, they very subtly changed. And what happened was people just believed whatever they were told. It took a while, but people were believing whatever it was that they were told. Now, this has gotten so bad that it hurts me because I wanted to help people. Being a god, I wanted to help people. As it were, and as it is, people just get mad at me because they don't like to think that a common man like me is a god. But that's exactly what it is. And I'm going to show you this tragic, horrific circle of stupidity that you folks cannot absorb into that sodomized anus. The anus is sodomized. So if we give you something that's going to be beneficial, like something that will reduce the swelling, you still demand the sodomy. So try to understand that, because there's nothing else I could say to you to make you understand this. Now let's take a look, shall we, at the 11 ring circus that is going on right now. Now I'm going to show you the senators and representatives of Congress, whatever they are. I don't know if it's the other ones, but senators for sure, are asking Mr. Fauci. Now, Mr. Fauci had 40 years. You remember that 40 years? He's a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker. He's like your grandpa. He's around for in business now and medicine for 40 years. You see, he's a fucking stupid, corrupt piece of shit like we were telling you. I told you. 5 years ago in 2020, I told you in January 2020, this fuckhead let in the planes from China without quarantining them because they knew they had to make the American people think that there was no chance to stop this, but there was nothing to stop. But this all had to be choreographed and smoked and mirrored so that you would learn. Like if somebody said to you, hey, how would you like me to give you sodomy up your anus? And you would say, of course not. That's not what, but given the right situations over a period of time, you might think you need sodomizing up your anus. And that's exactly what happened to the COVID-19. The men were emasculated and the women were turned into just little more than talking monkeys. And the men too. The Brits come to mind with the things I've been telling you about. But I'm going to show you something here that really disturbs me, and you have to almost be a god to understand this. And that means you're so stupid that it's offensive to talk to you. But I'm going to do it anyway. Now, here's 40 years with his New Yorker accent, and he is getting grilled. And they have found out that he, quote, got rich. And one of the ways he got rich was his personal assistant and a lot of other people were trying to help him get awards. And these awards paid close to $1 million each. So 40 years there was busy getting rich. And the senators are now figuring this out, unfortunately. And I know this is going to be really difficult for you to understand. Did you know that this senator here and a couple others, which I'll show you, they're more stupid than you? This is unbelievable. I didn't think anyone could be more stupid than you people. But they're more stupid than you. So have some respect for yourself. At least you're not the most stupid people in the world. Although, who knows? We'll have to see. Let's take a look now at this charming video. Very informative, by the way. This started with Anthony, 40 years, Fauci. And he's under oath talking to the Senate. Stand by. Let me set this up for you. They finally got to Fauci, and he is here, and he is fielding questions from the senators involving all sorts of hanky-panky and him becoming rich, coincidentally, during the COVID-19 scam, or as you like to call it, the scamdemic. Now, let me show you how sad this is. And for you, the people who can hear this, I want you to understand that you're not the most stupid people in the world anymore, and you should be very grateful for that. You're not the stupidest people in the world anymore. You now have senators here that are the most stupid people in the world. So I'm going to show you this now, at long last. Just to set this up final for you. Oh, that's not the one. What they did was they were kind of embarrassing Fauci and this and that and bringing upon some things that look like they might not be too favorable to him. And for a long time, Guinea there, 40 years in New York, in New York, a New Yorker, 40 years in the New Yorker. 40 years here was holding his own for a while. And after a while, after they dug deep enough, they found real incriminating stuff on Fauci. It's too much to go into right now, but he made a lot of dough. All right? He made a lot of dough. Again, the reason why you should watch this is because it's a blessing to you, because you're not the most stupid people in the world anymore. These senators are. Okay? Now let's get to it. This is Mr. Fauci, what it has come to after this.
I served at the NIH for over 54 years.
Yes.
38 of those as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Over that period, I proved that I believe in and respect the value of legitimate congressional oversight. In fact, I testified before and or briefed Senate and House Senate and House committees well over 200 times over those 38 years. During and after the COVID.
Okay. So here now is what happens when you have to go behind the Fifth Amendment.
Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Now, let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyers sitting behind you now shifting nervously in their chairs, they know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic you got rich, didn't you? You got rich. While people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich, and not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic. What day of the week is it today?
Now, I'll try to keep this short from here out. Why is this so tragic? The reason it's so tragic is that it's like having the main meal right here, and all around it you have little crumbs, and everybody keeps going toward the crumbs, and nobody goes for the main meal because they've just been assuming that those crumbs are the main meal, and they complain. Now, what should they be saying here? What they should be saying, they're not saying. Only I will say that because I'm a God. You're not. But once you come to this channel, at least you have the protection of a God. At least you have that. Right now you have nothing but your dim wits, like everyone else. Now, if you listen to that, he is upset, that senator is upset, because Mr. Fauci got rich. Now, what was I telling you for all over the years, all during this COVID-19 scam? I told you, this was a get-rich scam. There were going to be plenty of people that were going to bet, many companies, many people that were going to get rich. In order to be able to keep the cash flow coming in, they had to tell you that the facial diapers were essential. Did they have any empirical evidence that it would make it any better? No. And they can't take this down because it's the truth. There was no empirical evidence. They did studies in Sweden, or was it Denmark? I think it was Sweden. They found out that at that time that not wearing masks didn't have, the people weren't wearing masks in there, and it wasn't making any difference at all. Wasn't making any difference. That's what they figured out during the scam. So, what are they doing here? They're doing the thing that the Indian people did right after Mr. Neil Ferguson, the mastermind of the lockdown in the UK, after he told everybody how dangerous it was to go out, and that everyone, virtually without exception, except for the chosen few that would be on official business like delivering food or water or whatever it was, medical care, emergency people for driving, things like that. All the rest of the British had to stay in. No going to the pub for warm ales. No going to your girlfriends. No nothing. Why? Because they relied on the information almost exclusively by an expert named Neil Ferguson. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you Neil Ferguson, and I'm going to show you what he did. And this is too simple for a nitwit like you. But even though you're not the dumbest people in the world, the senators are now the most dumb, but you're pretty dumb too. So let me smarten you up. You'll have a God to come to. You'll be able to be under my tutelage. And I think that means something. So let me show you, because a lot of you people are so stupid, you don't know one thing from another. When I show you this, you won't even know who it was, because you were listening to how many people were dying in the hospital, emergency rooms overflowing with people. Do what you're told. For God's sakes, it's all for the good of each other, and we have to support each other, because Neil Ferguson from the UK, this a predictor of death, they used virtually all of his data. And he spoke to Boris Spassky. As all of you know, England has always had a king. And that's the UK, by the way. At the time, it was a guy named Boris Spassky. And he had become king of England, and he made the law state that you could not go out of your house. You had to retreat to your flat. But it was absolutely urgent, because it was coming from the top kingpin, the apex, the one who all the information virtually was provided by him. And he went on for unending interviews expressing to us about how dangerous and how much danger we were in. I mean the average John Q. public. All right? Let me put this on pause. It'll do you a lot of good. You'll be upset with yourself because you don't want a common person like me to educate you, but educate you I will. Stand by. This is just a short clip, but it pretty much bottom lines it for you. But here it is, and you can take a look and understand. And this is really very masked because they're not really showing it. This is 14 minutes. We might as well just take a look at it. But please don't be a dick fuck. You can't fuck a dick. You understand? Don't be a nitwit, stupid, sub-fucking sodomite craving retard, sub-retard. Okay? Please listen to me. I am a God. You are not. You are just what I said. My sub's excluded. You don't even know who this is, and it's not important to you. Only thing you need to worry about is the hospitals are overcrowded, emergency room you can't get into, and everybody is dying and getting sick.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Coronavirus lockdown. UK government, Professor Neil Ferguson. उसकी बीमारी, उसका UK गवर्नमेंट को लॉकडाउन पे फोर्स करना और एंड पे उसकी शादीशुदा माशूका से मुआशका। बोरिस जॉनसन की बीमारी, अस्पताल में दाखिल होना और प्रिंस चार्ल्स का वबाई मरज में मुब्तला होना, ये हमारा मौजू है। लेकिन इससे पहले अगर हम यूके के मौसम पे बात ना
This is coming to in Urdu or whatever it is that it's coming through on. These are not humans. These are worse than you. These were the Indian people who wanted you to, after finding out that Neil Ferguson had a little butt-fucking buddy, and I will show you the girl, because they hide this now. It takes a real great deal of remembering to find any of this stuff. But find it I shall. Okay, folks. They do their best to really erase all of this. This is Neil Ferguson. It was this monkey right here. Okay? He went on and on and on about how serious and how dangerous this COVID-19 was. and really insisted on making everybody go into their flat and not come out until they were instructed to. That's essentially what they wanted. He wanted a China-style lockdown. China went into lockdown for over 2 months. It was something like 54 days. They went, 64 days. It was over 2 months. Many, many people died because of the inability to get medical care in a timely fashion, or other things like earthquakes that trap people inside buildings, because in some cases, they were done with padlock. They padlock in entire buildings. And there was a protocol to get to the people to get help. But that was secondary because this was so dangerous. Everybody had to be put into their flat in China, of course. All right, and same thing in London because of men like this. Now, let me read this to you. Matt Hancock, quote, backs police if they find Professor Neil Ferguson for breaking the rules. Now, that's not what I thought it was. Here he is again talking about how dangerous it is. That was 5 years ago. Epidemiologist Neil Ferguson on virus transmission in 2020 projections. They used this corrupt shitfuck assholes, exclusively his material. So he went to Boris Spassky, that was the King of England at the time, and told him that everybody had to be put in their flat. Now, as we keep going, and he defends it here, because you're so nitwit and stupid and idiotic, I have to cover these things in multiple angles, saying the same thing to make sure that you understand, okay? Professor Neil Ferguson defends the UK coronavirus lockdown strategy. Read it for yourself, okay? Now, what happened here? Well, unbeknownst to all of us, Neil Ferguson had a nice little piece of ass, and he had it for a while. And this was a woman that was his squeeze, shall we say, but he was sharing her because it was a married woman and she had what they call an open affair. For those of you I know a lot of you are really stupid, but that just means that this woman had a husband and that the husband was allowing her to go out and get sodomized and other such niceties without throwing her out, or they were in agreement with it to some degree or another. That's what an open marriage is, okay? So when they introduced the lockdown, everybody had to go back into their flats. And they didn't come out. They stayed in there that night, that first night. And this went swimmingly. Believe it or not, I know a lot of you said the British are brave and honorable people, especially the men. They would not just get to a point where they would all just put themselves away until they were told to come out. That couldn't happen, but it did. Why? Because they didn't have me. I'm a god. I know that is not right. You cannot do it. You can't even get to the point where you even think about doing that. But once you're sodomized enough in the anus, you begin to crave it and you demand it. And that's just what happened here. So the dunces up there in the UK, they all went inside. And this worked very, very well for the first night. And then at around 8:30 in the morning, somebody happened to notice that Mr. Ferguson had sent for his married, open affair girlfriend here and brought her over to his laboratory, we can only assume. But where it was, I don't know, but it was admitted to. It may have not been the laboratory. He may have had a fetish, maybe wrapping her up in aluminium I don't know. That's something you're going to have to think about in the quietness of your own mind. I'll go with the aluminum wrapping. Okay? Folks, this is too stupid to even be talking to you. Do you know how beneath my dignity this is to have to teach a bunch of fucking sodomites, stupid fuck, stupid sub-retards like you? Do you know how humiliating this is for me? But I do it for you because I'm a God and I have to love my people. Neil here wanted a little, God only knows what, make up your mind. Maybe he wanted to wrap her up in aluminum foil and do certain things. Or maybe she was, they were doing some experiments in the laboratory. You'll have to figure that one out in the quiet thoughts of your own mind. But regardless, they hooked up on the night when they told everybody else how dangerous it was and that they needed to go into their home and stay. Now, because you're sodomized and because you crave and demand sodomy, if you see something showing like as normal throughout the centuries how dirty sodomy is, you would know that you would not engage in it. But through a series of events, they made people believe in something that didn't exist. And the people took a whole belief in it, including you sub-fucking retards. My subs excluded. They have me. So, once they found out at 8:30 in the morning, the British man became irate. They came out and they said, whoa, whoa, whoa. See? Is this embarrassing, folks? Is this fucking embarrassing? So do you know what the answer is here? Not trying 3 times harder to agree with your sodomite that's raping you. You tell the rapist to stop. And they can't do that. Because the Indians came out from India and they told us about how we had to work 3 times harder because of this. That's because they'd enjoyed the sodomy and they demanded it. They got to that point, like you people. Now, with me, because I'm a God, I already know what this means right here. And the answer is abundantly clear. There was no scam. There was no COVID-19. It was a scam. This wasn't rank and file. This was the apex. This was the absolute highest man. He was an epidemiologist. They used his information to lock England down. And what did he do? He went out and he broke protocols, or actually I take that back, that's a lie. He didn't go out. He sent for his girlfriend to be delivered to him. Now, you're a dip fuck. I can't help you. I know what that means. It means this is exactly opposite of what they're portraying. There is no COVID-19. There never was. I can't explain it to you because you're too stupid. But every year in this country and in other countries, you have horrific deaths caused by respiratory illnesses of every sort. But because they knew that they had a chance to do a human experiment where for the first time in history, not gobs, but hundreds, if not millions, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people couldn't figure that out and just went along with what they were told. Is that unbelievable? How much of an animal do you have to be to go out and wear some mask that they just told you? To go to a 7-Eleven and have big screens, these clear plastic blockade things that was going to stop the COVID-19. That was going to solve it. What is the truth? Look at the kingpin, the absolute top apex kingpin, the one they used all the information from him. And understand, this was all a lie. It was done to make people rich. You can't believe that because you crave the sodomy and you demand it. Don't believe a Jew. Don't believe a doctor. You believe me. a commoner, because I just told you the truth. And you can double check this if you can wind up finding it on the internet, because they keep burying it. There should be a lot of stuff over here on these two fucking monkeys, and they hide it. Coronavirus explained as Neil Ferguson's resignation undermined the UK's fight on the COVID-19 scam. Nope, it went on as merrily. Folks, you're mindless, stupid, sodomites, filth. That's what I think of all of you. My subs excluded, all 17 of you. At least you got me. Don't be fooled again. Goodbye. Subscribe, you'll at least have a chance here on this channel. Bye.